talking with Tom earlier today, promoted me to Father Stephen, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyways, it got me all wired up here with this boomless mic and everything, and I think I'm going to try it for the Jonas Brothers. Jason, what do you think? Can you help me out? Chris, can you help me out? Anyways, when I think of stewardship, think of this cartoon that I read. It's a cartoon of a chicken and a pig looking at a sign that says, "Feed the poor, feed the hungry." The chicken says, "I think we ought to donate some ham and eggs." The pig says, "For you, it's a contribution, but for me, it's a complete sacrifice." A little bit about myself. I grew up here in Central Florida, right on Lake Brantley. Grew up here my whole life. Went to school, elementary school at Sabin Point. Went to T Middle School. I'm a proud graduate of Bishop Moore High School. After that, I went on to college at the Citadel, and then I spent 5 years in the military as an armor officer. I was fortunate to have a great foundation in the church. My parents were responsible for that. They brought us to church all the time. Of course, I went to the Catholic high school. When I was in college, I continued to attend Mass. I prayed often. My parents taught us about tithing. So God has always been very good to me. He's always given me strength. And He's been very generous. Matter of fact, when I was in the military, one of my first sergeants, when I was a commander, was talking about where we come from, our background and so forth. And he looked at me and said, "Sir, you lived a charmed life." And he was exactly right. I have. I've always prayed. God has given me strength when I needed Him. I had that big test in college, and I prayed for the answers. He never let me down. When I was in the military and walking in the woods at night, cold and hungry, provided warmth to me. So really my relationship with God has always been about what can God do for me. And God has always been there for me. He's been very generous. I got out of the military in 1995 and had a few job changes and so forth. I ended up back here in Orlando back in 1998. And I came to Mass here at this church where I was raised at the 5:30 Life Team Mass. This Life Team Mass is very special to me. And I ran into my youth minister from high school. It's a husband and wife team. My name is Steve and Lisa Walker. We hadn't seen each other since high school. We caught up, we told small stories, laughed, and so forth. And the youth minister's here, and he said, "Hey, why don't you come out to the program tonight? I'd be interested in your opinion." So I did. Kind of watched it, and I went to one other event, and they challenged me and said, "Hey, we really need some help. We'd like to invite you to participate as a core member and get involved." Anybody that knows me is, anybody likes a challenge, it's me. So of course I took their challenge, I got involved in the program. And I quickly found out that was a turning point for me in giving back. And the kids responded to me. We had some great times. We did some really funny skits. We dressed up in costumes. We did karaoke nights. We went rock climbing. We had some very unbelievable retreats. And we had water fights and squirt gun fights. It was certainly a lot of fun. But I had a lot of things to give. I had humor to give, ideas, leadership. In Romans 12:6, we have different gifts according to the grace given to us. Now each ministry has its own needs. Certainly Life Team is a good fit for me. But the more I gave the Life Team, the more I got back. And some of the most valuable gifts that I got back, and blessings, some of the relationships that I developed over those 10 years, 11 years at this point. Some very fulfilling relationships. All those relationships were built outside of this building and not in these pews. Over at the Family Life Center, the Life Team House, retreat centers, various places, rock concerts. That's where those relationships were built and are very valuable to me. But on a couple of them in particular, I have two daughters, Devin, Marie, and Joya. They're 6 and 5 years old. And one of my teens, I call my teens like I know them, but one of my teens was getting married. Her name's Christina. She invited my daughters to be flower girls at her wedding. And we'd kept in touch over the years, and she had babysat my girls, and she'd been through some struggling times personally and with family and health and so forth. She invited my daughters to be part of her wedding, which was a tremendous honor. And you would have thought it was their wedding, the way they treated my daughters. It was very special to me. One other relationship that I wanted to bring up was a young gentleman by the name of Chris Sherry, who enlisted in the military and is an intelligence analyst for a special operations group. Because I was military, we had a good rapport, kind of got along together. He called me up, he came back from Iraq, his first tour in Iraq, called me up. He now speaks Arabic. He's a very intelligent young man. Called me up and said, hey, I'm in town, here seeing my family, and I want to introduce you to my wife and daughter. And I took that as a tremendous honor that he would invite me. All the things he's got to do before he goes to his next tour in Afghanistan, he spent time with me. And those are the special things for me that are important to me. Probably could go through a whole list. This is a very special Mass for me, because I look out here in the congregation and see all the people that have touched my life through that ministry and giving. I see the Stewarship over there. I've seen all their children born, other than Stephen. My girls are in school. They come over and take care of them.